Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hello. Welcome back to the OWC World Cup 2023. We have had some of the greatest matches we have seen yet, some of the coolest upsets we've seen, and this one could be one of those bangers, depending on how the form of both of these teams are. South Korea, the #1 seed, the favorite to win it all, facing up against the Philippines, a team in phenomenal form at seed 5 in the semifinals winner stage. Whoever wins this secures himself a top 3 spot in the OWC World Cup podium and securing a spot in the winners finals to face Australia. I'm Sad Shiba, and I am joined in the wonderful match by the wonderful Dio. Good morning, Dio.
Good morning, Shiba. It is 7 a.m. here on the East Coast of North America, and I am ready to go for South Korea versus Philippines. I've splashed my face with cold water, I've shotgunned half a monster, and I am here ready to cast some hyuks. It's time to go. We have a pretty interesting matchup here. I think South Korea, obviously the favorite to win the tournament at this point. They are the #1 seed out of qualifiers. They have dropped 2 points in total throughout the round of 16 and quarterfinals after winning 5-0 in the round of 32. Philippines, however, upsetting Russia in the quarterfinals, eventually leading Russia to actually be eliminated from the tournament already in top 12. Now here, after that upset match, to face off against seed #1 in the semifinals. And this is a Philippines team that has been renewed with a bit of a different roster, a stronger core set of players, and all the potential of previous years brought together into one roster to make the run of a lifetime for this country in the OWC World Cup.
Yeah, man, Philippines taking down Russia previously, been in good form, taking down a team that I think many of us expected to make a really close matchup. The seed 1 above the Philippines, but they kind of destroyed Russia, to be honest. They shredded them, beating them 6-3, completely silencing all the doubters. But South Korea have been one of the few teams in this tournament, Dio, who have kept the narrative that all of us have expected. We've seen some of the craziest upsets in this entire tournament. USA and Poland are going to be missing out on top 6 this year. One of them, at least, will be falling. Australia not only defeating Poland, but defeating Canada and going into the winners finals, securing themselves top 3. Some of the craziest things of having this OWC. This is one of the best OWCs we've had in a very, very long time. And this match could be one of those potential upsets, but yet again, South Korea have been the one team to stay consistent and actually perform up to the standards that a lot of us majorly expected from this team. So Philippines have a big opponent to face up against, and it's not going to be an easy one. I think overall this matchup is quite easy to understand. South Korea being so well versed and so flexible, Philippines are quite restricted into what skill sets they can perfectly kind of execute on against a team like South Korea. Double time mechanics, tapping mechanics is going to be that matchup for Philippines that they want to prioritize in this, whereas South Korea so much more flexible, so much more capable of taking them on several other strengths here. The Philippines are no slouch. They're also a very well-rounded team. Hyuk and Enri have been in great form, especially Hyuk, the real Hyuk. He has performed amazingly well in this OWC World Cup. I'm excited to see what he's going to be capable of. So, yeah, it's an exciting matchup nonetheless, even if South Korea are deemed to be the favorites in this one.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting match. As you said, I think Philippines is going to be looking to play into some of the speed and tapping mechanics, but even then, it's not a guaranteed win against a team like South Korea. You don't get to #1 seed out of qualifiers without performing well on literally everything. South Korea's best runs on all maps across the qualifiers were at the very worst top 18. And that was only on Nomad 2. Every other map, they were top 10 in the qualifiers. And if you exclude Nomad 2, DT1, their lowest placement in the whole qualifiers was top 6 on any individual map. This is a team that has massive consistency across every single skill set. And it's really, really tough to try to pick into a team like that, right? Because there is on paper, nothing that is really a weakness for this roster. So Philippines, I think, going to be picking into their strengths, going to be picking into the few things that South Korea maybe does have a few holes in, maybe they're a little inconsistent on. You look at how they've played and how they've picked through the last couple of weeks, they definitely tend to prefer more of the ult, more of the tech, more of the precision, and we see those aim control bans coming out from the Philippines in the Hard Rock 2 and the Free Mod 2. Two of those custom maps this round banned out by Nightcore and Flake, unfortunately for them, not being able to see those maps. And of course, South Korea going to be banning out 2 of the speed maps. It's going to be DT3 and No Mod 2. A little surprised from my side to see DT3 banned out, especially with how the South Korean team has looked on speed through the tournament. I was kind of expecting it to be Double Time 2 instead. Go for the Double Time pick that's a little bit more stamina focused, but honestly, either of them are going to be fine bans for South Korea, and I think maybe looking at some of the scores from the Philippines and saying, okay, when they're on more stamina-focused speed maps, they seem more beatable to us based on our locals, so let's go ahead and ban that other stuff out and leave some of those open for them. Of course, now we're going to get the first pick from South Korea. I think we're probably going to be seeing something aim control focused. What exactly that is, they kind of have pick of the litter. There's Nomad 2, 3, 4 in the Nomad pool. There's Hidden 1. There's the Double Time 4 as well, is actually not a bad pick for either of these teams. And of course, the Free Mod 3. They could also go into something a little bit more reading based with the Hidden 2, the Free Mod 4, but I think those are a little bit more of toss-up, so we'll probably see both teams avoid those for a little bit until we get it more down to the wire in this match with fewer maps left in the pool to pick from.
Yeah, have to agree. I think South Korea are 100% the more flexible team. You've already talked about the good early options that they can lean into. No Mod 3 is also still open. So yeah, overall, you got a lot for South Korea. Granted, the Philippines do have a great team for this. It's more about the fact that South Korea just overall are the stronger team on paper. They're much more well-rounded. Most of their players are quite a bit more experienced in these high-level skill ceiling tournaments that improve over time and get more difficult over time. And semifinals is where that bridge is going to start extending more and more, where the skill cap is starting to matter more. And South Korea entering in with a Hidden 2. I would have predicted a different pick here, Dio. I think Philippines have a bit more potential to perform on this one. What do you think?
I think if you're looking at some of the reading picks from previous weeks, this pick might be a little bit of a question mark because you have, for example, the Nomad 2 last weekend. Philippines was the #1 team score by about 500k. Number 2 was South Korea. You look at other sorts of Nomad picks, Nomad reading picks. We see Philippines picking into Nomad 4 in the round of 16. Sunkiss drop, which was that other perfect stack Nomad reading pick, right? So a lot of the lower approach rate reading picks have been pretty good for Philippines throughout the tournament. But you look back at the qualifiers. Remember the qualifiers' Hidden 2 pick was AR8, awkward aim. South Korea number 6, number 8 on the map, Philippines number 12, and number 20 on the map. Those results should speak more to South Korea being the better team on these more awkward aim-focused AR8 hidden picks in this pool. And this is exactly that sort of pick. Yeah. Super wide angle, awkward aim, kuda, with the spinning circle jumps in 3 separate places through this map. I think this is a very well-placed pick for South Korea, given how different the reading picks have been throughout this tournament. Being able to look back kind of at the qualifiers and say, you know what, we have really good scores on this type of stuff. This should be a good map for us regardless.
Beautiful call there. Yeah, you're absolutely right. In terms of objectively reading, yes, it is quite evenly matched. But if we were to talk about the type of map this is, and then its style, and looking back at qualifiers and seeing how similar it is to this one, you're right. South Korea do have a big advantage over that overall. But what matters is on the day, Dio. What matters is on the day. What could we see different here? On the side of the Philippines, you've got their core reading roster, their core 3-man core of Henry, Hyuk, and Nathan Ram, and then having Miggy fill in for that big reading role, the staple reading player for this Filipino team. going into this early section. The map does not hold back at the start, immediately starting off with those big circle aim sliders. Tons of control and discipline required in this, as long as just comfort on the reading on top of that is going to be really essential to hit those. So far, so good for both teams. It's looking quite even, but that drop of Flying Tuna is going to give Philippines that early game advantage. Hyoka's going to drop for the second time for the Philippines, but that's not the combo you want. Karcher as well going down. Not a good start for South Korea. It's just worse HR player holding on to the combo.
Yeah, and this is why I said we might see this pick left a little bit later into the pool, because as much as the drops from Miggy and Hyok are good for South Korea, it's only one full combo left on worst HR player now. And yeah, among the low AR picks through the pools, I think this one does favor South Korea a little bit, but it's not like Philippines is bad at this. They have a very good reading roster. Henry and Nathan Ram still holding on to the full combos for them, but good recovery so far from the remaining members of South Korea. Karcher holding his own right now, actually. And there goes Nathan Ram. It's just Henry now for the Philippines. 45 up in the top left corner, holding on to match the full combo from worst HR player. You have Karcher and Amamiya Kokoro with a little bit of supporting combo. There they go instantly. It's actually a full reset for everyone except for worst HR player and Henry.
Big game section to come through here. This is one of the really important parts of this map. Can either player hold on? It's just worst HR player and Henry to try and keep it alive for each respective team. That triple miss from South Korea is going to give them a little bit of a disadvantage.
There it is.
Am I lagging a bit? Oh no, I'm lagging.
And there's actually the miss from Henry at the end of that section. Worst HR player able to hold on. 99.8 accuracy after the first two diff spikes of this map. And he is looking to carry this team to victory on their first pick. The only combo left in the entire lobby. Nathan Ram has a little bit of combo for the Philippines. Same for the OG Hyok 2044. There he goes on the slider break. And now it's just worst HR player and Nathan Ram with a little bit of combo. Some support for Amamiya Kokoro, Karcher, and Flying Tuna. But all eyes on the bottom left corner right now, as long as worst HR player holds, South Korea will win this first pick. And there he goes! He misses right before the ending section. It's a double reset for South Korea. Worst HR player, Karcher, both break. Amamiya Kokoro and Flying Tuna to hold on to the combo, though. And there's a three-way reset for the Philippines at the same time, so this still looks good. That 180K score advantage for South Korea will probably be enough. He's done the work needed.
You've done the work, Worst HR player. Phenomenal score, 700k, and you've got Flying Tuna and Amamiya Kokoro on your back. This little burst section here is going to trip out Amamiya Kokoro, but Flying Tuna has got the backing combo to completely suppress what the Philippines have against them. South Korea, from what looked like a shoddy pick at first, are going to be able to bring it back, claw it back towards the ending, and South Korea will get pick number 1.
Yeah, I think a little bit close for comfort there. Again, these reading picks are contested. These are not auto wins for South Korea, but they do have that carry player in worst HR player. And when you do look back at those scores from the qualifiers, it was worst HR player to carry them there as well. Double S to the hidden 2 in qualifiers and top scoring here in the semifinals to bring them victory. So very, very well done from worst HR player. Very well done from Forum. And actually, Henry and Nathan Ram both above 500k. No one on the side of South Korea above that margin. So without that carry performance from worst HR player, they lose that pick.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Early stage, South Korea were just universally struggling there. You had the good comfort there from Philippines at the start. It was just West HR players to try and keep it going for South Korea, try and have something that they can contest against them. But due to that late stage fall apart there, Henry dropping the big combo that was needed, along with the Philippines not being able to gauge up any potential recoveries here, South Korea were able to bring it back. Good recoveries from both Amamiya Kokoro and Karcher. Oh, no, sorry, Amamiya Kokoro and Flying Tuna to claw it back and get that flip they needed. It was a shoddy start, but South Korea had it in the end. It's up to their next pick for the Philippines to try and even it out. They had a really close call in this hidden 2. Are they going to be saving their heavy mechanics picks, or are they going to instantly try and whip out that hard, difficult, raw tapping mechanics? It is going to be double time 2 picked here for the Philippines. One of the more expected ones from this team.
Yeah, no surprises whatsoever. I think if you're looking at first picks for this team, just based off the bans, based off the expectations for the match, you're looking at Hidden 3, Hard Rock 3, and this Double Time 2 that's left up among the tapping maps in the pool. I think either the Hard Rock 3 or the DT2 was probably going to be the first pick there. Break Through the Night, mapped by Neto. This is a custom map for the US World Cup semifinals here. 228 BPM streams for the most part on AR8 DT, and I think a little bit more accessible than something like Skin Thief if you are looking at kind of 230-ish BPM streams here. This one with a little bit more finger control, so different ways of draining the stamina, but far less intense on the death streams in this map. This is more of kind of lots of short streams back to back to back mixed in with that finger control. So you are going to have players who struggle on the stamina here, and we're going to get the speed roster to come out for both of these teams. Philippines keeping in their core 3 of 43, 44, and 45. Those would be Nathan Ram, the OG Hyuk, and Henry. And 46 coming in, that is Milkteism. There's too many of them.
Don't worry, Milkteism.
Hyuk and Hyuk coming in for this one. And on the side of South Korea, you're probably going to get Karcher, famous stream player. First full combo on Yomi or a 220 BPM is not all that different from 228 BPM. You should be completely fine on something like this. Parisia dash Arestia, who is actually a Zazen, and Flying Tuna, who has consistently been working on his speed for years and years and finally starting to see some returns on investment there.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. South Korea have a great roster for this. Parisia, Restia, and Flying Tuna all really, really formidable on this, especially Flying Tuna with a big improvement. I think the big player to look out for this SK team is going to be Restia, aka Zyson. He has been one of the most famous, most well-known tapping mechanics players in South Korea. Phenomenal tapping player. Proven it in so many tournaments throughout the years. He's going to be one to look out for here. On the side of the Philippines, you've got their core tapping player. Of course, having Milkteism in there is going to be really, really good. This DT2 is going to be Philippines' chance to try and bring something back, try and get themselves a point on the board to even it out. After that really, really possible triumphant Hidden 2 that could have led to a victory, if not for a few tiny slip-ups. Parisia is going to be the first to drop for South Korea. It's going to be traded, though, by Milkteism. So it's still 3-3 in the combo department. Accuracy also really, really close, slightly in favor of the Philippines, but not by much. Big burst that should come through there. That could lead to a stamina drop, and that's not going to be the case. So far, so good. South Korea do have a tiny combo advantage from that early drop from Parisia. So far, I mean, that accuracy is still looking really good for the Philippines, but down goes Flying Tuna. It is traded by Hyuk, but it's going to be also traded by Zyson. Karcher is the only full combo left for South Korea with Parisia on the group recovery there against 1 FC and 1 recovery from the Philippines. It's looking really, really close, but overall, the timing of these drops and the accuracy from the Philippines, especially from Henry holding on to 99.5 AC, is going to give Philippines that lead in this early stage of the first third of the map.
Yeah, actually a little bit of combo lead for South Korea, but that accuracy, as you called it, keeping it close here for the Philippines, and actually score lead going ever so slowly over their way, I think just off the back of that 99.7 from Henry. Parisia dropping that big supporting combo, and Zazen Restia dropping that combo as well for South Korea. Now, big combo lead for the Philippines in addition to that accuracy. It will be traded out by Milkteism here from the Philippines in that top right corner. Hyuk 46, but Karcher's got a lot of weight to carry here, and with those drops coming again from Parisia, it's just not enough at the moment. You need to see drops from the Philippines if you're rooting for South Korea to take a break point here. But if you're rooting for a close match, Philippines doing a fantastic job on this DT2, keeping it close. But there goes Hyuk! There goes Henry! There goes Henry. It's just Karcher now, the only FC left in the lobby. There's too many Hyuks on the screen. I'm calling them all Hyuk again in this match. But Karcher breaks as well.
Oh, no, that's it. That is it for South Korea. Karcher had such a big threat there. He's so formidable on this BPM particularly. So good on this, able to be consistent despite dropping a little bit of back. That drop from Henry could have spelled the end for the Philippines, but that's not going to be the case. The combo from both Hyuk and Nathan Ram are going to keep this going. Several drops here from South Korea going to this late stage. They can't handle the stamina. Karcher and Zyson both go down. Same with Flying Tuna. Another triple miss there for the Philippines. No combos outside of Parisia and Henry. But that's not going to be enough. 350,000 score late into this match is not going to be able to become backed on. You can't bring this back if you're South Korea. Philippines will take this map and make it 1-1.
Yeah, and this should go to show just how contested this match is, right? We saw double bans on speed from South Korea, and they still made it look close. It's within 400k with the DT multiplier. That's closer to about 300k no mod as well. So this is not going to be an easy match for Philippines to take points in. And same for South Korea, right? You saw the hidden two, exactly how that went early on. It was not an easy road to either of these points for both teams. So I think we're going to see a lot of contested picks in this matchup, which makes actually picking really, really tough to do. Far easier to pick correctly in a match where, okay, we know we are the tapping team. We completely beat everyone in the tournament on tapping. It's not even close, no contest. And we're just going to pick all the tapping maps. Or, you know, oh, we have Badu, Ikoro, worst HR player, Flying Tuna on the team, right? And we're just going to pick all of the reading maps. That's not really the case for either of these teams here. You have a lot of contested picks in this map pool. So actually picking correctly is going to be down to a little bit of team comfort and a little bit of how well do you know the other team in this matchup. So I'm expecting as we go later on into this match to maybe see a breakpoint or two start to come through, and those might start to happen earlier than expected if one of the teams is having a bit of a tough time.
South Korea still seem to be quite a big threat on that, though. So there's a possibility for that risk to possibly be considered here for the Philippines, but that's not going to be taken into account right now. No Mod 1 is going to be the next pick for South Korea. Fudging Friday, as we are not allowed to say.
Fire trucking Friday.
Fire trucking Friday. Yeah, that's the way to say it. 4-minute long. Melon Boy aim consistency. Talk to us about this map, Dio.
This is like aim practice, but done in a way that meets the quality standards for the World Cup, right? You played Grand Senpai maps, you played Kirigiri maps, you played Skyflame maps, you played Apok maps, or Saggy maps, right? This is like if you had an OG aim mapper in Fuko, who's renamed to Melon Boy, and you ask them to do that style in a way that actually feels like a real map. This is cross-screen jumps for so much of the map. It really never lets up. And at 195 BPM, those are relatively high spacing, relatively fast jumps in this map. So it's really, really tough to be consistent on. I think a lot of aim maps, especially in places where the World Cup, like you have those quality concerns, they end up being a couple of diff spikes here and there and relatively free combo in between, because that's just how most songs work. Not this map. Every single jump in this map is really, really difficult, super high spacing, and you can break absolutely anywhere in the map. So consistency and skill cap are both really, really important on this, but you've got a lot of really good aim players on both teams. For the side of South Korea, it's Karcher, worst HR player, Alagrissimo, and Amamiya Kokodo coming in for this map. Notably, no Flying Tuna, because guess what? The roster's so good at aim that they have a different four-man roster for this one instead. And on the side of the Philippines, it is Henry, Zone Louise, the OG Hyuk, and Nathan Ram, the core three-person roster coming in once again for the Philippines, joined this time by Zone Louise for Nomad 1.
Yeah, Philippines still holding on to this three-man core. The trio that have been performing so well on so many maps, they're keeping it alive. Going into this No Mod 1, there's big potential. This one is consistently difficult. You have to be really, really careful. That was one example of a really tough jump. Henry hits the whole thing, but drops straight afterwards. Advantage South Korea in the combo department here. Early stage looking really, really good. 3 SSs going past this intro. But we're going to be going into the first KI here. This is where the jumps start to wrap up just a little bit. These sliders also notably quite scary. If you neglect these, you could easily hit a slider break. These are surprisingly bigger than they look.
Oh, and there goes Nathan Ram as well in the bottom right corner for the Philippines. And Amamiya Kokodo will match the break for South Korea, but it's still a full combo advantage off the early miss from Henry. So OG Hyuk alongside Zone Louise holding the full combos for Philippines here. Nobody missing on this big section either. Everybody making it through there. No, Alagrissimo and Milk Tea is Yeah, no, Nathan Ram. There's
Nathan Ram.
Hyuk and Alagrisimo missing there for Philippines and South Korea. I'm calling them all Hyuk. Alagrisimo dropping there for South Korea. It's first HR player at Karcher holding on. Full combos from Hyuk and Hyuk on the other side for the Philippines, and a little bit more of a supporting combo from Hyuk over Amamiya Kokoro. And nobody missing on this really tricky section either here. Second PI time now.
Next PI, that big square jump is hit. It's going to be tripped up there from Zone Louise. Henry has a great recovery alongside Hyuk with the full FC. You've still got Karcher and Wesley Choplay holding on, but Karcher goes down. That's a big combo advantage now in favor of the Philippines, but down goes Hyuk. Back to Henry now with the biggest combo. Zone Louise and Amamiya Kokoro to go down, but Wesley Choplay remains uncontested in this. The combined combo of the Philippines could still lead to a threat. There's a 16,000 score difference. It's really close. Square stream pans come through guitar solo. It's not going to lead to any drops just yet, but there's still more to go. A little bit of a space burst there. Doesn't trip up anybody. Triples hit by everyone. It's still Wesley Choplay to be the big anchor for South Korea to try and just keep this lead in their favor away from Philippines' reach. But the more the recoveries build here for the Philippines, the closer it's going to get. The combo scaling is going to eventually be in their favor the longer this leads on for. More jumps. Big vertical ones. Giant is going to come through. Wesley Choplay goes down. Traded by Hyuk, but Henry still holds. That's the big combo you want to stay for the Philippines. You have the rest of the recoveries from South Korea to look good. Alagrisimo goes down. Karcher and Amamiya Kokoro still looking good, but those two recoveries from Nathan Ram and Hyuk are going to give Philippines that swing in their favor. One more third of the map left to go. There's still a bit of the Ki left, but as long as they hold, they can do this. Final Ki to come through. Could this be the first breakpoint of the match, Dio? Here it comes. There's still more jumps to come through, but I don't see any drops yet. Henry and Nathan Ram still looking so clean on this.
It's 45 and 43. Henry and Nathan Ram to hold on for the Philippines. Henry on, I think that's either one miss or one slider break with 0 100s right now. 99.94 accuracy at the ending here.
Right.
Hitting the whole ending as well. Same for Nathan Ram on 99.65 accuracy. These scores are nuts from these two players, and unfortunately for South Korea, worst HR player was not able to finish out the full combo. I think if they got that FC from worst HR player, it might have been doable with that recovery from Karcher and Amamiya Kokoro near the end of the map, but it was just not enough against this massive score from Henry and the fantastic support coming out of Nathan Ram for the Philippines. And that is the first break point. We said it before the start of the map that there might be some break points earlier than you expect in this matchup. And there's one for the Philippines taking the first one against South Korea here.
150 from Henry on a slider break. Absolutely incredible score. Genuinely insane. That is a crazy score from Henry. And Nathan Ram had some of the best support I have seen yet. That is insane. Yeah. The Philippines built such a great return. Wesley Choplay, as you said, was not enough.
Before the score screen goes away, I also want to shout out 0 100s, 2 misses for Amamiya Kokoro, 2 100s, 2 misses for Karcher, 1 miss for worst HR player. Like, this South Korea roster had so much more potential to get super high scores on that map, but it just was not able to come to fruition, and Henry and Nathan Ram carried them over the finish line for the side of the Philippines.
Such a great opportunity for the Philippines to try and build something. Any victory they can get that's not their main strength that they want to lean into this is so invaluable. Taking away that No Mod 1 is going to tell South Korea to be a little bit more careful on the aim. You have that Hard Rock 1 open. That could have been a good option here for South Korea, but maybe they're second guessing that one now. Double time 1 as well. Philippines are a big threat on that kind of stuff now. What are Philippines going to lean into next? You still have the DT1, you still have the Hidden 3, sorry. But outside of that, pure tab mechanics is a little bit void. The two No Mod 5 and DT3 have been taken away from those bans. It looks like Philippines are going to be sticking around the aim mechanics ride with this double time 1. Promise in the Twilight. Matched by Thunderbird.
And it's another one of those custom maps for the pool here. Alongside the DT2 and No Mod 1 that we've already seen. It's just the custom map show here during this matchup now as we get this DT1 in. Promise in the Twilight. You know, a lot of DT1s, I think people kind of just categorize them. You know, it's an aim map, it's another aim map. It just happens to be high approach rate, right? If you can read the high approach rate, it's fine. It starts to break down a little bit when you get to like 270 plus BPM, right? Especially if there are triples involved, if it's not just complete basic aim and there's kind of some patterns that are actually in the map outside of just jumps. A lot of players who aren't DT mains start to struggle a little bit when you introduce all of that at once, and that's really where this map gets its difficulty. The star rating, not particularly high in comparison to some of the other DT maps that we have seen throughout the tournament. It is 7.7 stars, so still very high star rating, but not anything crazy compared to stuff like the DT2 or the DT3, right? Even DT3 from last weekend in the quarterfinals was 7.7 stars. But this map, 278 BPM, AR 10.3, nearly 2.5 minutes long after double time, which is a relatively long pick, and you get both the pattern aim and some of the trickier sliders, a little bit of the finger control, a little bit of bursts. All of that coming together makes it really, really difficult. So DT mains are going to be heavily rewarded on this sort of skill set. We actually see Nathan Ram stepping out for the first time for 46 and 48 here, who are Xylaws and Milk-Teism. 46 would be Milk-Teism, 48 would be Xylaws. And on the side of South Korea, to try to take that breakpoint bracket back, you've got Karcher, Worst HR player, Flying Tuna, and Parisia. Parisia on the South Korean roster specifically for these DT maps.
Yeah, Parisia and Flying Tuna are the two players I'm looking out for South Korea to perform. Flying Tuna has been very well known in the tournament scene as a phenomenal, well-rounded tech mechanics player, but double time aim is one of his next best strengths. Formerly the #1 player in the world at some point in 2018, granted a very long time ago, but sparks of that double time aim strength still shines in this player. So South Korea are still a big threat on this. Philippines do have a great stacked roster on top of this though. Enri, Hyuk, and Milk-Teism in particular, 3 phenomenal double time aim players. I'm looking forward to this one, Dio. It's going to bound to be extremely exciting. Can Philippines get 2 points ahead of South Korea, or South Korea will claw it back and convert 2 breakpoints? Seems like MP starts are about to be traded. Good luck how funds are being exchanged.
And it looks like we're now able to get in. Enri a little stuck on the first try there, so we had a quick abort and get everybody in for both teams. And yeah, it's going to be hard for either of these teams. You know, Philippines had the better overall score on DT1 in qualifiers, but they also had a worse score than both of South Korea's runs. So you've got some variance there. You look at the quarterfinals as well, with honestly both of these teams just kind of avoiding double time throughout the tournament so far. It's been a little interesting to see neither of these teams really try to lean into that. The last time either of these teams played a DT1 was round of 32, with only the Philippines playing it. This is the first time South Korea will play a DT1 throughout the entire tournament. All they've really played with regard to speed is either no mod or DT speed throughout the tournament. And so we're getting a bit of a different sort of matchup than we usually would expect. Waiting on Enri here to join the rest of the roster for the Philippines. A bit of maybe internet connection issues on his end, making his client lag behind Bancho a little bit there. So hopefully we can get everybody to stay in once the pick is done, and we'll be able to see the entirety of the map, as we need about a quarter of the map length to really see what's going on here. Okay.
There you go.
3 full combos for the Philippines, 2 full combos for South Korea, but better combo one Worst HR player, and there goes Enri and Karcher.
Okay, that's all the FCs are now gone for South Korea. Karcher dropped that early miss from Flying Tuna, still gonna not matter him. He's still got that big bull combo with great accuracy. Flying Tuna looking good for South Korea, leading that charge. Down goes Xylaws though, that's a big drop down. You still have Hyuk and Milk-Teism to keep this alive. Big flip now there in favor of the Philippines. Worst HR player, Flying Tuna and Parisia, all collective threats here for South Korea. But going to this next little guitar solo section, here's a few drops. 2 drops of Flying Tuna and Parisia, big combos down. It's just Xylaws to drop for the Philippines. Once the HR player goes down, Milk-Teism missed to go down, but the recovery from Enri and Hyuk still holding on to the full combo is going to look really, really good. Still more displays to come through, but South Korea, outside of Karcher, completely falling apart. You have the rest of the Philippines to build some recoveries. The only drop being from both Xylos and Milk Tears are not the combos that you want down if you're South Korea. Big build-up to come through into the final Ki, final core of the map. A double miss once again from the Philippines, but not the 2 misses that you want to go down. Hyok still excelling on this, still holding on to the full combo for the Philippines. Henry with great recovery, backing him up, great accuracy as well. South Korea still have a few threats in Karcher and West State Chart play, but the combos are not going to be enough. 500,000 scores, way too far of a lead to overtake. The Philippines are going to convert this breakpoint on the normal 1, and are going to get the double time 1 win. Will be 2 points up against South Korea.
And this is the difficulty of playing into a team like the Philippines as South Korea. We talk about South Korea being a well-rounded team. Well, you have such a ridiculously consistent core roster for this Philippines team as well. Henry and Hyok, they're popping off. Not even the DT specialists to come in as the members to pop off for this roster. It's 2 of those core members for the Philippines instead. Hyok as well has been kind of monumental for this Philippines team throughout the tournament and continues to be so here in the semifinals against South Korea, full comboing the DT1. He has been number 8 overall in the qualifiers, number 2 overall in the round of 16, and number 4 overall in the quarterfinals. I mean, this has been one of their best players throughout this tournament so far, even when some of the other core members are having bad days on the weekend, right? It has been Hyok to step up consistently and make it happen for this Philippines roster. Henry there as well, actually outscoring every member of South Korea. So both of the top 2 scores for Philippines there, better than any member of South Korea. But now, I think South Korea feeling the pressure a little bit here, going to move into some of those Nomad aim control picks. This one, the Nomad 4, another custom map by Nuge here. Valhalla by Magnitude. This is the slider aim pick. This is the tech pick. When you think of tech in the modern era, this is the style that you think of, with absolutely absurd slider shapes and velocities, punctuated by some really, really tricky short bursts and streams.
Yeah, there's a lot of control in this one, not only in your slider discipline, but those tiny little bursts and triples in between these insane slider patterns are going to be really essential. It's a scary prospect here for South Korea. They're 2 points down. They're down a breakpoint. They've got to get this victory. If Philippines are to take this, this is deadly territory for the South Koreans. Valhalla is once again a map that you could see the Philippines performing really well on. It's just that on paper, the South Koreans have proven to be more poised in this, but you can't help but think the Philippines have a chance. All of these picks so far have been decently evenly matched, but the Philippines have been able to excel more. Henry and Nathan Ram are 2 players that I'm expecting to see great things from. It's going to be filled in with Hyok and Impauster. 2049 is Impauster there for the Philippines. On the side of South Korea, I mean, what better roster could you expect for this? West Chafley and Amamia Krokoro especially. Flying Tuna coming in. Formerly known to be one of the best tournament tech players of all time. He's going to be filling in for South Korea. Karcher being the final 4th man. This is such an exciting one, Dio. I can't wait for this one. I think this one could get really spicy.
I mean, you look at the side of South Korea, any one of those 4 players 1v1 picking tech into you is extremely scary. Those are 4 of the best tech players in the world right there for South Korea. But the Philippines has proven that name value isn't exactly everything in this World Cup. They can all name change to Hyok, but at the end of the day, they're still the Philippines. They're still a very, very strong team. You have the full 3-man core roster here for the Philippines to come in once again. And I think a big question on everyone's mind coming into this match was, how well will that 3-man core roster be able to stack up against the flexibility of a team like South Korea, who has so many players who can come in on any map? And so far, the answer has been with a Blanc. They have looked incredible through this match so far, taking that break point on the Nomad 1, consolidating on the DT1. But here begins the real test. Can they keep up that level of dominance on the Nomad 4 here? It is Henry, Nathan Ram, Impauster, and Hyok in order there on the screen for the Philippines to try to continue what might just be a miracle run here in the World Cup in 2023 against South Korea, the #1 seed in the tournament, slated to win the entire thing from the outset. Here we go. Flying Tuna, Worst HR player, Amamiya Kokoro, and Karcher looking to bring back some equilibrium in this match on the Nomad 4.
Here we go, first Ki to come through. These devious slider patterns will be followed up by those triples and burst like we were talking about. Lots of aim control required in this, and so far so good for all 4 players. The first one to drop could be catastrophic. Still holding on. Accuracy lead in favor of South Korea, but down goes Nathan Ram. That's the first drop. Is that going to be traded by anyone on the side of South Korea? Going past his first Ki, there's just a little bit left. Big slide to come through. Wesley Char play goes down. It's back to even grounds now. 3-3 FCs here. Wesley Char play drops once again, giving Philippines that combo advantage. Impauster to go down next for the Philippines. Back now, swinging in favor of South Korea. Overall, this accuracy is going to give South Korea that benefit. Amamiya Koko's going to go down, though. It's back to 2-2 now. Flying Tuna and Karcher. Last 2 guys standing against Hyuk and Henry. I was about to say Hyuk and Hyuk, but no, Henry and Hyuk now. Karcher's down! That's a big one dropped! We're still in the wrap-up, going to the final third, and Hyuk and Henry still looking so good. It's slowly flipping the side of the Philippines. The longer they hold, the better this can be. South Korea, they're falling apart. Carter goes down again, and Pauster drops. That's not the one you want. Nathan Ram is still in the recovery. Philippines 5k away, and the flip is done. And Pauster dropped once again, but the Philippines are still going strong. This is such a good potential score here for the Philippines. Henry goes down, though, and Flying Tuna, it's trailing. These recoveries from South Korea are dangerous. It's all up to Hyuk to keep this alive for the Philippines. Flying Tuna, eyes locked. Fox to a hair, goes down, trips on a rock. Hyuk still keeps it going, and the Philippines will get the second breakpoint in a row. 4-1 for the Philippines.
And this is just beyond expectation for the Philippines. They actually make it happen. It is the drop at the end there for the side of Nathan Ram, but it just doesn't matter. The extra combo from Hyuk and Henry doing so much work there. 800k for Hyuk, 730k for Henry, and only Flying Tuna able to compete with that caliber of score on this map. Worst HR player, Karcher and Amamiya Kokoro down around that 500k mark just with Impauster and Nathan Ram, and that is not going to be enough. South Korea losing 2 picks in a row against seed number 5, your first seed out of the qualifiers, now staring down the barrel of match point from the Philippines. They win this pick, they bring themselves to that match point, and South Korea's road to a victory here in the semifinals looks all but paved over by the Philippines here. This is the match turned completely on its head now. The expectations for this match were for South Korea to come in to be pretty dominant in this matchup as the first seed, to display the kind of flexibility on tons of different picks that we expect out of the first seed in this matchup. 93% of people voting South Korea in pick'ems, and only 7%, 94 votes for the Philippines. They have turned the expectations completely around now with 2 consecutive breakpoints, looking to consolidate here, and you have to think that one of those picks is going to be either the Hidden 3 or the Hard Rock 3. Those 2 tapping maps left in the pool. They've won on aim, they've won on tech, but those picks so far have been through the speed maps, and there it is, the Hidden 3. The last straw by Sorry About My Face, one of the originals in this pool. Sorry About My Face also doing the artwork for this song and map as well. This is dangerous, Shiba. Aim and speed control on Hidden at AR 9.2, 240 BPM. So dense, so tricky is this map, but we've already seen just how good both of these teams can be on those types of density Hidden picks with that low AR Hidden too. The problem for South Korea is, you know, remember who their top performer was, who the carry player was, who was the reason they won that Hidden 2. The only point they have gotten in this entire match, it was worst HR player. You know what skill set he really does not play is speed. And that for the Philippines is a godsend on this sort of map to force out one of those core member players for South Korea. If he stays in for this, I'm going to be surprised, as 240 BPM bursts is not something you usually expect out of worst HR player. I was kind of expecting somebody like Allegrisimo to come in here for South Korea, but this might just be the worst HR player gambit for South Korea once again.
The Philippines, they're on the way to make history here. We've seen upset after upset after upset. The beauty of the 2023 World Cup continues with this. The last straw, custom sewn by Sorry About My Face. The Philippines have won on tap mechanics before. This one with a slap of hidden density on top of it as well. AR 9.2. A little bit scary if you're a little uncomfortable on this hidden. But I think both of these teams know that they are formidable on this. Once again, on paper, a matchup that you could see South Korea beating, but this type of mechanics does lean more for the Philippines. What will be the one skill that will outshine more? Will we see South Korea struggle on the mechanics, or the Philippines struggle on this hidden density? I think the players to look out for the most here are going to be Enri and Restia. Flying Tuna as well. The Philippines, can they secure this pick? Can they convert the second breakpoint in a row? Can they make this match point? Can they secure tiebreaker up against the team favored to win it all from day one? This map is notorious for leading to early breaks. Sorry, Jihad. Yeah, this map's notorious for leading to early breaks here. It is going to be Enri and Restia to be the first ones to drop, but once again, this map's really hard to adjust on.
Now you already see those couple of early breaks coming through for either of the players. Nathan Ram also dropping for the side of the Philippines, and now you've only got only one full combo now, as we see yet another drop for the Philippines, and it's just the OG Hyuk holding on to that full combo. Three-way FC still intact for South Korea, but there's still so much map to go. That's only the first quarter down, but it is actually looking good for South Korea here. They need this breakpoint desperately. You go down 5-1, and you have to win 5 maps in a row to advance into the next round of winners bracket, into that winners finals. This is for top 3 secured, podium secured. A couple more breaks coming from Flying Tuna and 46 there. And now you've just got worst HR player and Amamiya Kokoro holding onto the full combos for South Korea against the OG Hyuk for the Philippines, alongside what is effectively a full combo for both Enri and Restia on the side of the Philippines and South Korea respectively. Worst HR player goes down. That is now a big combo advantage for Philippines. There goes Restia as well. Nathan Ram will drop at the same time. It is Hyuk and Enri holding on for the Philippines, and that is score lead secured once again. It's just Amamiya Kokoro with the full combo. There goes Enri. It's Hyuk versus Amamiya Kokoro on the full combos. A little bit of better supporting combo for South Korea right now with Worst HR player a little ahead. There goes Hyuk. It's Amamiya Kokoro. Philippines have all collapsed. All of the full combos are gone. It is all South Korea now. Flying Tuna will drop one of those supporting combos, but there is still the FC alive on Amamiya Kokoro, and as long as they hold, it will be enough to bring this over. Flying Tuna to drop once again. It's Amamiya Kokoro and worst HR player with some of those combos. Restia not too far behind against only one big combo for the Philippines right now. This slow section, a little bit of a break for the stamina for these players. Do we see the comeback here from South Korea?
Enri breaks from that little ramp-up advantage, now solidified in favor of South Korea. Triple miss from the Philippines. This recovery from the Philippines was so threatening, but after that goes down, Amamiya Kokoro, the one man to keep it alive for South Korea. Worst HR player and Restia both have his back. He finally goes down from the shakes, a characteristic notorious for this man, but it doesn't matter. Such a beautiful performance from the guy. 99.3 act with that big combo to keep it alive. South Korea are not done yet. Worst HR player bringing it home, keeping it finished off. Flying Tuna also with that recovery. Philippines was so incredibly threatening, but it seems like the adjustment, the ramp-ups after the slow sections, and the general hidden comfort leans in favor of the Koreans, and they'll be the ones to take the break point. Finally, South Korea get a second point on the board. The Philippines are not safe just yet. They still have a lot of work to do.
A lot of work indeed. They are not first seed for nothing. This is the kind of South Korea performance we were expecting, I think. The ability to turn around what seems like dire straits for this team, to take back a breakpoint when it matters the most. You lose this breakpoint, you go down match point, you need to win 4 in a row to force tiebreaker, and then actually win the tiebreaker in what would be a huge swing of momentum. But to start that early makes the task so much less daunting for this South Korea roster. And it's not the prettiest, it's not the 4-way full combo, it's not multiple FCs on the side of South Korea, but this is not the skill set they are expected to pick into. This is a pick that looked really good for the Philippines on paper, and it is Amamiya Kokoro and worst HR player. 700k plus for Amamiya Kokoro, near 700k for worst HR player on that map, to carry them over the finish line once again for South Korea and bring back what has been a dry spell since the very first map pick for this South Korea roster in this match.
A ray of hope for the South Korean viewers here, the South Korean fans, the ones wanting this team to finally triumph for the first time in 10 years. People want this team to finally get the trophy they've been yearning for, but every single roadblock that comes ahead of them refuse to back down. The Philippines are the highest standing order so far to push South Korea to their limits. That hidden 3 was at one point seemingly spelling the end, but South Korea came back, kept themselves flexible, kept themselves alive. It's now South Korea's chance to convert this breakpoint fully with their next pick, but you can't help but be a little bit afraid of them here. So far, the Philippines have excelled on nearly everything, but it seems like Blue Zenith is going to be the one here. I am scared of this one, Dio. Yeah. I'm simply thinking of one man on the Philippines that could make this absolutely devastating. It is the one, the OG, the reason why the Philippines have this beautiful collab. It is Hyuk. I am worried for this pick because Hyuk, the one man himself, has set great scores on this map. I'm scared of this one, Dio, but God, am I here for it.
Yeah, you know who I'm scared of as well on the side of Philippines is Hyuk 2047, Zone Louise. One of the most well-known stream farm players in the game with full combos on stuff like this map, like Everything Will Freeze, right? This is a player who lives and breathes space stream maps, and for South Korea to pick into a roster like this from the Philippines just breathes confidence, and honestly, they should have it. Players like Karcher, like Restia, like Parisium, worst HR player, are actually really, really good on these types of space stream maps, but this is by no means a foregone conclusion. It is a really, really tough ask to win this matchup as South Korea on this map, and same goes for the Philippines. These teams both having their work cut out for them here, as you know, we've already seen just how every single one of these picks can and will go either way for both of these teams, depending on who pops off, who misses when it matters most, who cracks under the pressure, and who can hold strong for the roster. One thing to note on this map, shakes on a map like this can completely decimate a score. You miss once and get off track on the stream, off track on the BPM, you drop so much accuracy. You start to really, really lose so much score with chain misses on maps like this. So I think keeping track of those, who is shaking near the end and who is holding strong without those really high nerves at the end of this map, is going to be very important. But it's Blue Zenith. Holding no nerves on Blue Zenith is a very tough ask for just about anyone. A couple of early breaks here at the start for both Parisia and Enri. One for each team. Not going to matter all too much, as this map, again, 2,500 combo or so on this one. There's quite a ways to go.
It's Blue Zenith. It's one of the most iconic maps of all time. Every single player in this community knows what this map is. 4 minutes of untouchable 200 BPM streams with some terrifying jumps applied on top. Hard work slapped on top of that's going to make it even more precise and required to stay stable. Early stages looking very good on the side of South Korea. You've got 3 full combos still from Karcher, West Chop player, and Zyson. Parisi the only one to have dropped. On the side of the Philippines, a couple more scatter drops here. Enri dropping earlier on with a double miss from both Nathan Ram and Zone Louise early stage. Hyuk still holding on to his full combo, keeping this anchored for the Philippines. A pretty chill stream section here, a little bit of an Axel D-cell section, which is going to trip up Zone Louise. There's still plenty of time, 123,000 score in favor of South Korea. The more they build on this slow section up until the hard part is going to be really essential here. Lower with a square jump section there, trips up Parisia, not the combo you want to go down for South Korea.
And here we go into the next difficult stream section. This is really where the map starts to pick up, is about halfway through. Everything to this point has just been an introduction to exactly what this map can bring. It's not until this part of the map we really start to see anything spaced out like that. Nobody missing on it, though. It's still only 1 full combo for the OG Hyuk on the side of the Philippines. Enri and Nathan Ram holding on to good supporting combo there, but the 3-way FC still going strong now for South Korea. Parisia having recovered a little bit more than Zone Louise. And here we go into the next guy time. There goes Hyuk! The 1 full combo is down for the Philippines. It's all South Korea now. Three-way FC still intact. Restio will drop, but Karcher and Worst HR player are holding through this second Ki time. If they make it through this, it's all but a foregone conclusion now for South Korea as we get the worst possible timing on a little bit of Bancho buffering. There we go. Karcher, Worst HR player, still going strong. Can they make it through the jumps? They both do.
Oh my lord, Karcher, Worst HR player. These combos are immaculate. You've still got a third of the map to go. Worst HR player a little bit on the nervous side going into this next jump section after the next streams. It's just Henry to try and do something here for the Philippines. But you're going to have to hope for multiple drops, not only from your two fuel combos, from the recovery from Parisia. If you want to see this 400,000 score gap close in, final third of the map, the most iconic part of this map. Can Karcher close it out? No, he's gone. It's just Worst HR player. But Hyuk trades it as well. This lead from the South Korea is so insurmountable. There's the chase from Worst HR player. He's the one combo you have to stay alive here for South Korea. We're going to the next final Ki, the ending of this map. 400,000 score separating them. There's still a chance with these chain miss potential here, but Henry drops. That has to be solidified now for South Korea. Worst HR player leading the charge. The spaciest streams of the map here coming through. Can Worst HR player close it out?
Oh
one of the best scores that could suffice in this tournament. Hit the jumps. Worst HR player, you are a beast. How do you do it? The best score in this map by far. The best score maybe of the tournament. W in smoke. Completely shred it.
There's no way.
Oh, what a score! I can't believe I'm seeing this. Look at that score, Dio.
There's actually no way. I mean, what do you do as Philippines into the unrelenting carry performance here from Worst HR player? Worst HR player, my ass. He just full comboed Blue Zenith in lobby in the World Cup. This is an absurd display of skill cap from Worst HR player. 754 PP in lobby in the World Cup to bring them up to a third point for the side of South Korea. He has been instrumental in their victories in this match so far on the Hidden 2, on the Hard Rock 3, even on the Hidden 3 as well. It has been Worst HR player. It will continue to be Worst HR player. He has made a name for himself over the last year or two as one of the single best tournament players in the game, and he is seriously making a case for himself as the best player on this South Korea roster, as if people weren't already talking about him in that way. This is just an absurdly just ridiculous performance from Worst HR player, who has at this point been instrumental in every single point for South Korea. If you are this roster, you pick into him, you pick into the players who are doing the best for this roster, and you make sure he can continue to pop off in this match.
I'm at a loss for words, Dio. I am at a complete loss for words. I think we might have just singly seen one of the best single World Cup scores ever. I think that might be World Cup PP record.
Yeah,
I might need production to confirm that for me.
The World Cups to this point only got so hard, right? Like,
oh
Zenith Hard Rock
Lord.
would not have been in a pool 2 or 3 years ago. So this is almost certainly World Cup PP record. People were not full comboing maps in grand finals anyway. So this is maybe a little bit of history in the making here. And now we're waiting on Philippines for the last pick. All the tapping maps are gone, Shiba. It's all the remainder of the pool. It's a couple of aim maps left in the Hard Rock 1 and the Remod 1. You've got some AR9 density old map check in the DT4. You've got yet another tech map in the Hidden 1 alongside another reading pick and precision hybrid on the Fremod 4. A couple of alt maps and finger control maps as well with the Nomad 2, Nomad 3, and Remod 3. None of that picked into whatsoever so far for either roster. We're going to have to see something a little bit different now from both of these teams, as this pool is now coming down to the wire. Philippines here, they had a really strong start. They lost South Korea's first pick, but then won 4 in a row. They have not been able to convert on the last 2 maps, and you have to think they might be getting a little bit nervous about the potential for another South Korea breakpoint.
Will the Philippines keep themselves composed? Are they able to just stay stable, roll on to the next pick, go next? That score was insane from Foreign. We'll leave it. Don't worry about it. Next pick. It's going to be Nomad 3. Custom song here for the OS World Cup by Celeb featuring Lily. An iconic duo of artists known for making some legendary Osu songs, most notably Scarlet Rose, an iconic old map. This one is another scary pick for both teams. God, when you think about it, man, objectively, these skill sets are also evenly matched. I love this matchup. But this Nomad 3 is the one that Philippines are deeming to be their saving grace into this TB security. South Korea are revitalized after that early stage fall apart, winning 2 points in a row, a breakpoint, and a fantastic Blue Zenith score. They're revitalized, Dio. They got to try and bring this back. They still have a Melting to climb. They've got one more map to even out the playing field to make it a best of 3 into TV.
This is such a scary pick for either of these rosters, man. Celepi featuring Lily. This is an OS original in this round. Sarah, one of the custom songs for the OS World Cup this year. Of course, custom mapped as well by Agent Mosca. Modern alt. This is not the Val 0108 Celepi Lily songs of old. This is lots of cut doubles, lots of aim control with snap aim in this map, some flow aim patterns, but honestly, those tend to be the easier set of patterns in this map. I say easier kind of in air quotes there. It's still relatively difficult. Like, they're still very missable, still high spacing on pretty much everything, but you look at this map objectively, the hardest parts of it are that aim control. So you're looking at the side of South Korea to try to bring back another breakpoint here and even us up. If you're rooting for the Philippines, if you're rooting for an underdog story, I think you're looking at Enri, you're looking at the OG Hyok to try to come in and make this happen once again. Last member for the roster is going to be Zone Luis for the Philippines alongside the 3-man core of Enri, Nathan Ram, and Hyok in that order. And this is a very, very scary pick for both of these teams. I honestly don't know who exactly has the upper hand just from looking at the rosters, but South Korea's roster is so scary. I mean, Karcher, worst HR player, flying Tuna on a Nomad 3 like this is so intimidating in pretty much any tournament. I mean, you could tell me that's an open rank international roster, let alone a World Cup roster.
Yeah.
And I think I would still be scared of that 4-man or 3-man from South Korea.
Yeah, the South Korean team were quite famous for running the no-title roster in Corsair's Open, taking down several super teams at the start. If you, as a singular nation, can take down super teams, you have the potential to win the entire World Cup for sure.
And unfortunately for the Philippines, a bit of a rough start here. Enri and Zone Luis both missing early on. Nathan Ram missing as well. Zone Luis finding another drop, and it's no breaks. All
Hyok.
4 members of the Philippines have already reset Shiba. Hyok is gone as well. It's Karcher, worst HR player, Alagrisimo, and Flying Tuna, with nobody left alive for the Philippines here in the first quarter of the map. Zone Luis having a lot of trouble getting any combo together in this one as well. There are some recovered combos for Enri and Nathan Ram, but South Korea just looking unassailable here. 99.4 or better on the accuracy for all 4 of their members. There goes Enri once again, and this, I fear, is a mispick for the Philippines. South Korea, the aim control legends on this roster, need no introduction. Worst HR player and Flying Tuna in particular have been some of the best alt players in this game's history, full stop. And to pick this kind of a skill set into this team, you need to have confidence. You need to have some full combos, and it's just not coming together. Alagrisimo will drop, but that is a drop in the bucket of this 600,000 score lead halfway through the map. It is only Nathan Ram to hold on to any semblance of combo for the Philippines, and South Korea just completely untouchable on this skill set. And this is a really important pick. A, for the momentum for South Korea and the Philippines. B, because so many of the maps left in this pool are alt or close to it, right? You have the Nomad 2 left in Tatatathon. You have the Remod 3 left in Zetsu as well.
God.
This is not what you want to see from the Philippines.
Philippines, you have to be... I guess you're right, dear man. That is a tough mispick here. All 3 of these full combos from South Korea are absolutely exceptional. And
this match
really,
is
man,
really hard.
What more could you expect? Yeah, no, it is. It is really, really tough. I think Philippines knew that they had some great potential on this. They could have set some really good scores, but not only do they struggle, but South Korea just so dominant. There is a double miss there from both Carter and Wesley Child player, but the 1 million difference is way too insurmountable for the Philippines to come back at all. It was one a good while ago, Dio. South Korea, they're going to be converting another breakpoint. They may not see any final ending FCs, and Nathan Ram, may have gotten a great score to finish it off, but the Philippines have choked. They've slipped up. Give South Korea an inch, and they will take a kingdom. Nevertheless, your potential of taking the biggest upset of the year. South Korea have evened the playing field. 3 wins in a row now for this team. It's back to even grounds. It's a best of 3. 1 pick left for both of these teams. And if it is traded 1-1, we will be seeing Endverse once again.
I hate to bring attention to it, but man, if your 4th player is not dropping 200k on the map for Philippines, what leads you to pick that sort of map? I have to call that a mispick for the Philippines. It's just, you cannot be dropping that sort of score against South Korea here. Unfortunately for Zone Luis, he was not having a good time on that map. And even in spite of that, right? If you still see near full combos come through for the 3 other members, I don't think it matters all that much with how dominant South Korea looked on that map. It was over 1 million team score. I mean, you have to have massive, massive improvements on the scores for everyone on the Philippines for them to have a chance of taking that one. And now, for the side of South Korea, I mean, pick of the litter with relatively similar maps there to what we just saw on the Nomad 3. You've got the Nomad 2, you've got the Fremod 3 as well. I think there's quite a lot of options for South Korea right now. They do still have stuff like the Hidden 1 open at the same time, right? They have actually won both other Hidden picks in this matchup. They won the Hidden 2 and they won the Hidden 3. So it might be doable there for them. I don't know exactly what we're going to see. It's going to be Hard Rock 1. Oh. That is the last thing I thought they would pick here. Yeah, they did win the Hard Rock 3. And Philippines did ban out that Hard Rock 2 as well. So you know what? Maybe they are cooking something a little bit here with this one. But that Nomad 1 definitely does not speak confidence into the ability of the South Korea roster to perform on aim consistency like this on the day. They've already lost the Nomad 1 DT1. So I think you have to doubt it a little bit. But with the double Hard Rock either ban or win for South Korea so far, and the confidence they must feel having won the last 3 picks in a row, just going with what feels right is oftentimes the best choice for a team, and clearly this one feels good for South Korea. It's the Captain 1 aim consistency pick here in Hard Rock, 220 BPM and pretty high circle size, CS 5.85 on this map. You don't really just get to aim like normal on this sort of pick. You need at least a little bit of precision, as this is almost CS 6 to be able to aim this properly. And at 220 BPM, there's not a lot of room for error in between some of those jumps. So this is a tough one. Very, very consistency focused at, well, almost 4.5 minutes long for this pick. So with how good South Korea has looked in the last 3 picks, I don't want to doubt them on this one. That's for sure. They have looked really, really solid. Karcher, worst HR player, Alagrisimo, and Amamiya Kokoro coming in for the South Korean roster to play this map. It's going to be Hyuk, Zone Luis, Nathan Ram, and 2046 is Milk Teaism for the last member of the Philippines.
I wouldn't doubt Korea either, Dio. They performed exceptionally well with Wesley Child player single-handedly giving them one of the biggest insurmountable victories on this Hard Rock 3. They're going to be sticking with their Hard Rock comfort here. They do have some really good players in this. Carter and Wesley Child player in particular performing exceptionally well. Alagrisimo, always a great fill player and great on this aim. But when we saw the Philippines take that victory on the Nomad 1, you have to still take into consideration the potential the Philippines have to take this, especially with Hyuk and Zone Luis. The 2 players to really look out for in this one. It seems like we are going to be swapping out McTeaism here. It is going to be Nathan Ram and Enri instead. But you've already said it, Dio. This is some fast, high spacing, comfortable Hard Rock aim with a big CS to make that extra difficulty even harder. 4 minutes as well, incredibly consistent. There are lots of those key eye diff spikes that you're going to have to hold on to. There are quite a few slower parts on this map, quite conventional in the Hard Rock game consistency department. It is a Ki where you're going to be expecting the most drops. Maybe a few discomfort, tragic misses on the earlier, easier sections, but knowing the potential that these teams both have, I'm going to be expecting those Ki's to be the biggest turning points in this match. Karcher, Wednesday Char player, Alec Greason, Amamiya Kokoro for South Korea, Henry, Zone Louise, Hyuk, and Nathan Ram for the Philippines. This could be the time for them to secure a match point.
Let's see which of these teams gets that match point. We're going to get the last pick for the Philippines after this, no matter what. So if South Korea lose this, they are down the barrel of match point with Philippines' last pick. If South Korea can win this, they at least secure the tiebreaker no matter what happens on the Philippines' last pick. It's a couple of early breaks to start us off here from Worst HR Player and Nathan Ram. Don't think those are going to matter too much in the end, though, as accuracy still good for most of the players, and combos are still good for 6 out of 8, with only a little bit of combo dropped off from both Worst HR Player and Nathan Ram. As you said, Shiba, the Ki times are what's really making the difficulty of this map. This is far more similar to kind of standard aim mapping, unlike Nomad 1, where every single jump is really difficult. It comes down to the Ki times a lot of the time here. There goes Zone Louise, though, for the Philippines. Drops the slider break right before that break. They're all going to see exactly what the combos are here. 3 full combos to 2 in favor of South Korea. Better supporting combo for Worst HR Player than for Nathan Ram as well. And here we go, first Ki time. Who is going to hold on? It's not going to be Nathan Ram, unfortunately, for the Philippines. Hyuk and Henry still holding the full combos, but it is 3-2 with the better supporting combo on Worst HR Player still going strong. He has been just a complete beast this entire match. It has been a performance for the ages from Worst HR Player in this matchup. Full comboing when it counts, hitting the diff spikes when it counts, and even with that early miss, as long as he continues to combo, it's gonna be good.
South Korea, they're still holding on. Down goes a drop from Karcher. 2 FCs to 2 now, but the recovery is massively in favor of South Korea. But down goes Henry. That's one of the full combos gone for the Philippines. It looked like there was so much potential there for potentially the Philippines to build it back. And with Zone Louise dropping as well, South Korea are going to be able to push this lead further and further now in their favor. This 3-way giant combo from South Korea are going to look so good. And there goes Hyuk. There are no combos left for the Philippines past this halfway mark. South Korea seemingly made the right choice with this one. Despite the early drop from Worst HR Player, he does not give a toss. He is holding on to the rest of the map, whether you like it or not. Better to come through past this halfway mark. A little bit of a slow section here. But South Korea looks so ready to keep this going. Alec Greason and Amamiya Kokoro are also holding on to their full combos. Whereas on the side of the Philippines, the highest combo you have is Nathan Ram, which is only 200 combo ahead of Karcher's recent drop. What do you do in this? You've got the Ki here. Maybe a last hope for the Philippines. Last thing you're going to have to hope for if you're South Korea is for them to drop 3 times for all of their 3 big combos. This is the last dying hope for the Philippines. I mean, what do you do here? Zone Louise is going to drop, and South Korea just looks so poised. Alec Greason goes down, but it's traded by Hyuk. What do you do in this, Dio?
There's just nothing they can do, Shiba. Philippines here, they just have to pray for more misses. There goes Amamiya Kokoro as well. It's no full combos now for South Korea. Worst HR Player, though, is holding strong. He actually misses as well. It's only Karcher now for South Korea. You have combo on the side of Nathan Ram, and I believe Henry's still holding some combo as well. Yeah, it is supporting combo for the Philippines, but look at the score lead, 600,000 in their favor, and Karcher is matching the combo from Henry right now. I fear it may just already be over for the Philippines on this pick. Can they bring it back? They're going to need more misses from South Korea. There's a couple more for Amamiya Kokoro. Can they continue to hold? It's Nathan Ram and Henry holding on to the last sliver of hope here, but this is still 500k score lead. And there goes Nathan Ram. That's it. That's the map. South Korea forcing tiebreaker after what looked to be a complete upset run from the Philippines, up 4-1 in this match. Now 4 in a row for South Korea to bring us to match point.
South Korea completely destroying on this. There was a little bit of a hope there for the Philippines towards the late stage, but South Korea made the right choice. That early stage dominance gave them the lead that made it impossible for the Philippines to chase. You had a little bit of potential from both Henry and Hyuk. Nathan Ram as well. But good lord, man. South Korea so dominant on this. No score lower than 500,000. Not even that, 590,000, basically 600k there from Malagrissimo. Philippines unfortunately struggled just a little bit there. There was hope and potential, but it wasn't going to be the case. South Korea with a brilliant comeback from 1-4 down to TB point. Philippines still have one more shot, one last pick. South Korea are 1-0 in this best of 3. Can Philippines make it 1-1 and secure TB? It all comes down to this last pick to secure a podium spot, to secure top 3 and face Australia in the winners finals. The script writers have to be cooking something good, surely.
And this last pick for the Philippines is a really tough one to deliberate over. I don't think you're going for the No Mod 2 or the Free Mod 3 with how well South Korea performed on that alt map in the No Mod 3. You really don't want to see them pop off on that. The hidden one is open, and it is a tech map. You won the No Mod 4, but it was only by 56k for the Philippines, and South Korea has won both hidden picks in this match so far. Free Mod 1 is open. It is another aim map. You're 1-for-1 on aim, but you get to take No Mod. You get to force South Korea onto a hidden and a hard rock. But unfortunately for Philippines, it looks like South Korea has their number on the hard rocks and the hiddens here. And they are looking really, really solid. I mean, I think Free Mod is going to be the best option for the Philippines team, but this is a really tough choice to make because the hidden one, again, South Korea has won both of the hidden picks, so I don't know if I like all of those picks super well for the Philippines.
Hidden one.
And it is going to be hidden one, actually. Not going to go with the Free Mod 1 here. They're going to go with Epistrophe instead, mapped by Made. This is a ranked map. It is a tech stream-focused map. Some really, really tricky high-velocity sliders in this map, but a lot of the difficulty coming from the flow aim in this pick. A little bit of a contrast here to that No Mod 4 that we saw earlier, where the primary difficulty point was those sliders. This time around, it's the streams, it's the flow aim, it's the ridiculous cut double streams throughout the map, it's the accel decel patterns in this map, it's the fact that a lot of these streams are just straight up linear with changes in spacing in them, which is so hard to deal with. You have to be completely on point with both the tapping control and aim control on a lot of these streams to even have a chance of hitting them, and it's a really, really tough pick to go for here. I guess the Philippines really wants this as the last pick here. I was thinking the Free Mod 1, but they know their team best. They know what they're feeling best on, and I think a lot of the players for Philippines that have been popping off have made it really close on some of these hidden picks, right? Hidden 2, hidden 3 were relatively close. They managed to win that No Mod 4 tech pick earlier with the help of, I believe, 2049 was Imposter. Yes, Imposter on that tech map. So we'll see exactly how well it goes here for the Philippines on the hidden one. This is or die. This is winner's bracket life on the line for Philippines. This is what they've chosen as their last pick up against the juggernauts in South Korea, the first seed out of qualifiers. They look really shaky in the first half of this match, but they have momentum on their side. 4 wins in a row to bring themselves to match point now. Looking at the last pick for the Philippines and attempting to win before the tiebreaker, not wanting to go to end verse and wanting to bring themselves into a guaranteed top 3 position and a bout against Australia in the winners finals.
It's time. Epistrophe, 1 minute and 51 seconds long. We've talked about the difficulty of this map. It's high velocity sliders, it's terrifying cut double sections. Tech flow is terrifying on this kind of map, but the map being so short makes this early stage pop-off combo essential. The question is, can Philippines stay composed? They've struggled with their nerves in the last few maps. This is the time for them to activate, the time for them to awaken, and once again, we want to see the Philippines that gave South Korea a run for their money at the start of the match. This is their last chance to prove it. It's time for Hidden 1. CS4 AR 9.8, 185 BPM. The mapping style is what really matters here, though. We've already talked about it. So far, this little... Go on, sorry.
Yeah,
go on.
And here we go into the pick. This is where the pick really starts to pick up some steam here with those square sliders. These are the streams that you're going to be looking for. Those cut doubles not catching anyone off. Imposter the first to drop for the Philippines. And Philippines now needing to hold these full combos. It's already near halfway through the map. This is a very short pick, a little less than 2 minutes long. Hyuk is going to drop as well, and Pauster to drop a second time. It's still 4 full combos for South Korea, and Philippines need this pick. They want to force Enverse. They want to go to tiebreaker. Flying Tuna will drop, and that's a little bit of a window of opportunity there. But Impauster to drop once again, and the Philippines is going to need some serious carry pants put on to Henry and Nathan Ram, as those are the only 2 full combos left. Impauster just having a bad time on the B rank accuracy right now against the 3-way full combo. Amamiya Kokoro drops!
2-2 in the FC department here. There's still a chance. Resi goes down. Hyuk and no, not Hyuk and Henry and Nathan Ram still have a chance. Hyuk goes down, but that's not the combo you want. Where's the Char play? The last man standing here for South Korea. The sliders get really big. Can Philippines bring it back? Flying Tuna drops once again. 200,000 score and slowing down. There's barely any map left. Worst a Char player is this anchor that South Korea needs so badly. Nathan Ram goes down. It's just up to Henry, but there's no time left. The rest of the Philippines are falling apart. The rest of you may go down, but worst a Char player keeps it grounded for South Korea. Such a great effort there from Henry and Nathan Ram, but it won't be the case. South Korea form a fantastic comeback and confirm their slot in the top 3 and confirm their spot in the winners' finals to face Australia. Oh my lord, what a match this was. There was so much potential for a flip on the Philippines at any point on that map. Nathan Ram had such a great build-up. Henry tried so hard, but it wasn't going to be enough. Worst HR player, once again, the anchor for South Korea, the key player to keep this team alive and keep them going into the winner's stage. This shows that gods can bleed, Dio. The ones to decide that all to win can still take a knee, can still be knocked down despite not out. South Korea will advance. Philippines put up a phenomenal fight. They're down, but they're not out. They're going to be the ones to go into the losers bracket stage in the winners finals, into the losers stage of the finals. Sorry, but yeah, Philippines, what a play. But South Korea still got it.
5 in a row for South Korea there. Worst HR player has to be the MVP in that matchup. 700k. Yeah, I mean 700k on even the speed map in Hidden, full combo on Blue Zenith, 800k on the Nomad 3, top scoring the Hard Rock 1, and then coming in for Epistrophe on the very last map of the match and hitting the full combo, combating Henry, making sure that even an FC was not enough for the Philippines to take that match. That performance from worst HR player was just obscene, and even on the maps they lost, he was still in for all of them aside from that DT2. Just an incredible performance there from worst HR player, and he carried them to their first point on the Hidden 2 as well. That is a performance for the ages. You have to give shout outs to Henry and Hyuk as well, who performed incredibly for the Philippines, but unfortunately 4 in a row is just not enough to take a match. You need 6, and worst HR player gave Korea those 6 points. Some fantastic fill performances from some of the other members from South Korea, as well as a core member performance that is really, really solid for Karcher, Flying Tuna, and Amamiya Kokoro. But that is going to be the match. I mean, what a ridiculous show from both of these teams, playing so well. Unfortunately, just not enough for the Philippines, as, again, 4 points is not enough in the semifinals, and South Korea continuing to advance through the winners bracket. This is the team that got second last year, that beat the United States in winners bracket for the first time in many years. South Korea, they're going to continue their run into the winners finals, as you said, versus Australia next weekend.
My lord, man. If there's anything I've learned here, South Korea are not invincible, and the Philippines have some of the best potential I've ever seen. What a performance from this team, especially from its core 3 players, who have been the ones to give Philippines some of the best team scores we've seen. I have nothing but praise for both of these teams, man. Philippines especially, who have been yearning for such an opportunity to get themselves this far in the World Cup, to put South Korea on one knee, to knock them down just a little bit with that 4-1 lead at the start shows this team has some unbelievable potential. They're going to be going into the losers bracket of next week to be facing, I believe it's the winner between USA and Poland, correct? I believe.
Yes,
but
it is going to be the winner of USA versus Poland as Canada drops down to face the winner of Germany versus Chile, having already knocked USA into the losers bracket for the first time this early on since 2013.
Ever. 2013!
2013. It's been 10 years. USA was not always this dominant in the World Cup, but it has been a very, very long time since we have seen them in the losers bracket this early. That match coming up in about an hour and a half from now, 15 UTC, and another match there, the last one of the weekend between Germany and Chile at 19 UTC. And that is going to do it for us here.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for us. Thank you so much for watching once again. We have had some back-to-back bangers. This is coming up to be one of the best World Cups you and I have had the pleasure to witness. Thank you so much for watching. Me and Dio have this great cast. I've been Sad Shiva, and I've been joined by Dio. Thank you for watching, everybody. Do not go anywhere. Come back in about 35 minutes time for USA versus Poland. It's bound to be another banger. So do not go anywhere. Maybe get a snack, maybe get some water, but come back for USA versus Poland. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Take care. Much love. We'll see you later.
怖か